Let us see a few properties of list and tuple. If you want to create a list, you can write L is equal to inside square bracket the various elements can be written. So L is a list with a one element and the element is 10. If you want to display the element, you can write print L. So all the elements of the list or the complete list will be displayed. Now if you want to see the type of data that is there in variable L, you can use the function type. Okay. Now you save your file, run the program. You can see the list. It is a list with one element 10 and the type of data present in variable L is a list. Now if you want to add one more element, just put a comma, type 20, save the file, run the program. The list is displayed in the computer's monitor and L is a list. If you want to display the first element of the list, you can write the code like this. It is print L of 0. Okay, so this is forward indexing and L of 0 will give you the first element of the list. So a list is represented using square bracket. In order to get the first element of the list, we write L of 0. You can run the program and see the answer. L of 0 will give you the first element 10. Now there is another type of data known by the name tuple. So for the time being, let me make this a comment. Okay. Now suppose if I write t is equal to 8, you know that integer 8 is stored in variable t. So if you want to display the value, you can write print within bracket t. Now here I made use of only two single quotes, one more is required. Okay, so now these main statements are made a comment. So t is equal to 8, t points to an integer, 8 is displayed in the computer's monitor, and if you want to see the type of data that is there in variable t, you can make use of print within bracket type within bracket variable name. Now when you run the program, you can see t contains 8 and the type of data is integer. Now suppose if you put 8 inside round brackets, okay, you may think that you have created a tuple with the one element 8. Just save the file, run the program. You can see that it is integer 8 and the type of data that is there in variable t is integer. So actually you did not create a tuple. Very important, if you want to create a tuple with one element, insert the element inside round brackets that is followed by a comma. In class 11, it was clearly mentioned, if you want to create a tuple with one element inside round bracket, you can insert the element that is followed by comma. This comma is part of syntax. Okay, so now p contains tuple 8 and the type of data that is there in variable t is a tuple. You can see that. See, now t is a tuple and the type of data that is there in variable t is a tuple. Okay. So this is one point that we will make use of in connectivity. But if you want to create a tuple with more than one element, suppose 27, in that case you don't need a comma here. This comma is a syntax error. Okay, so only if you want to create a tuple with one element, after inserting the element, that comma is required. Here two elements are there, so here you don't need any comma. You can run the program and see the answer. Tuple with the two elements 8 and 27, the type of data in variable t is a tuple. Now suppose if you want to get the first element of the tuple, you can write the code like this, print t square bracket 0. So in order to retrieve elements of a tuple, we make use of square bracket, same as in the case of list. Okay, but a tuple is represented using round bracket. So here you will get the first element of the tuple, which is nothing but 8. You can see the answer. See the first element of the tuple, which is nothing but 8. Now, the most important difference between a list and tuple is list is mutable, tuple is immutable, which means you can change the content of a list, whereas you cannot change the contents of a tuple. Let me explain that. Okay. See here L of 0. Now let me change L of 0. Suppose L of 0 equals 99. So now this 10 is replaced with 99, so that now if I display the list, you can see the list. List is 99 and 20. You can see that. See, initially the list is 10 and 20. This is first element of the list 10. Now I change the first element to 99, so that now the list becomes 99 comma 20. So list is mutable. You can change the contents of a list. Now let me try this in the case of tuple. So here if I write T of 0 equal to 44, it results in an error. This one results in an error. See, because tuple is immutable. You cannot change the content of a tuple. So kindly remember these important points. If you want to create a tuple with a one element inside round bracket, you can insert that element that is followed by comma, and this comma is part of syntax. And if you want to create a tuple with multiple elements, just insert the multiple elements separated by comma. In this case, you don't need a comma here. Okay. Now, second point, list is mutable. You can change the content of a list, whereas tuple is immutable. And this we will make use of in the next session, Python MySQL connectivity.